Hello, my name's Andrew, and today we're talking about the pros and the cons of the Vivobarefoot Gobi sneaker versus the Lono Nomad. So these are two of my favorite zero drop shoes for casual use, and they both got a wide toe box with just a little bit of taper on the outside, but both shoes are made of a natural leather upper, and it does stretch over time to give you even more room. Although I'd say the Nomad's leather is just a little bit thicker, whereas the Gobi feels slightly softer and thinner to me, and then it has these suede accents. The one big difference is that the Nomad has this perforation here, so it's got a little bit more airflow for summer, but the perforation does extend to the bottom, so even though the Nomad is actually really water resistant overall, if you step in a puddle, it can come through right here. That said, the Vivobarefoot Gobi sneaker is definitely more water resistant. It's got this high wraparound sole and double layered suede here to add even more protection, but the only perforation it has is like right here, so they can get a little bit hot if it's like 80-90 degrees. I do love that the Gobi sole is stitched though, which is always great for durability, whereas the Lono Nomad has a glued sole. But the nice thing about it is that it's flat, it's very simple, so if this ever came separated, first of all, it's easy to fix yourself, but if you had any major separation or the sole wore out, you can easily take it to a cobbler and just have them put a normal flat sole on here, and it's easier to do that than with a shoe that has like a custom curved rubber sole like Vivobarefoot does. This would be really hard to replace, and although you can send Vivos in to get replaced, it would be more expensive and take more time. One thing I like better about the Nomad is that it's a little bit lower cut and it doesn't put as much pressure on my ankle. I think the materials are just kind of softer overall, whereas the Gobi sneaker is cut kind of high for a low cut shoe, and it's fine in back. I like the white tab here. It's kind of like a call out to a classic soccer sneaker, but especially if you're wearing a without an insole, I find the ankle area just comes up a little bit too high. But to be fair, I went with the size 44 just to be safe, and I think they are a little bit big for me, which probably makes a difference too. Inside, both shoes are really comfortable. They've got a mix of leather and softer suede, and I didn't get any rubbing anywhere, so both of these shoes are excellent for wearing completely barefoot without socks. Although the Nomad does have some different footbed material, whereas the Gobi sneaker is just pure leather. In terms of sole, the Vivobarefoot Gobi sneaker is a little thinner at 3mm, has some really good flex, but even though it's slightly thicker at around 6mm, I think the Nomad actually has better flexibility. For one, because there's no wraparound sole to limit the flex, and two, because part of the thickness is a little bit of padding in here, so the rubber sole itself is only about 4mm. For the tread though, the Gobi sneaker has a little bit more grip because there's just some texture here, whereas the Nomad is more flat. So I tend to like the Gobi sneaker for casual walks, so I want a ton of ground feel, and the slightly thicker Nomad sole if I'm going to be going on gravel or anything that might wear down a thinner sole, although both shoes are an excellent option if you want a lightweight barefoot vibe. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Vivobarefoot Gobi sneaker versus the Lono Nomad. But if you'd like to support the channel, you can shop with the referral links down below, browse and filter more products with the shoe finder tool on my website barefootwear.org, or watch my zero drop transition video to learn more about barefooting. Finally, if you have a question about the Vivobarefoot Gobi sneaker or the Lono Nomad or about barefoot shoes in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace!